Was the move from annual to quarterly to monthly planning an intentional move, or did it happen organically? And how can you drive this change internally with an executive team that might be resistant?
That's a good question. So definitely was organic. We could just see that we weren't moving fast enough with our decisions and prioritization. And so moving to a quarterly, you can take the same agenda that you have annually and just say, okay, we're going to do it on a quarterly basis, but we're going to shrink it down. If you have your list of top priorities and you can set an agenda on a quarterly saying, okay, let's just review how we're doing against these. So backward facing, you can give that information up front so people can review it before you get to your meetings together. And then in the time that you have together in a quarterly review, you want to spend that time in the discussion. How come that went off the rails? What can we do different? What are some learnings we can pull from it, and introduce the new things that you think will come for the future? So the shift, if you can compare it to what's currently done, so it doesn't seem brand new, but that the phasing of it is more quarterly, that certainly will help. And you can also premise it with, well, let's try. We're going to do our annual review, say you do it at the beginning of January. So in April, let's just have a day to get together and minimize the amount of work that you need to get the content together. Obviously, if you're using a tool that has that information already available, then the product managers and the engineers can just give the updates on, what went well, what didn't go well, and where do we need your help and discussion, and then what are the future opportunities. It could be a pretty simple agenda.
I totally agree with this, Cynthia, where the company feel like the need for speed is there. It's very organically, almost like a bottoms up, say we need to plan more frequently. We need to have a faster alignment because the world is changing so fast. And I also want to highlight, Cynthia mentioned it, I think it's really important, is that when we make that change, it does also mean not only we just have more frequent meetings, that also means we need to have rapid access to information, so that, in the past, you can do annual planning, you have an offsites, you have big poster sheets everywhere, and afterwards you document all that stuff in the spreadsheet, in the PowerPoint. It won't work. You can't do that every quarter, right? That means the speed and the quality of access to information directly correlate to speed and quality of decision making across broader audience. So having a tooling, having a source of truth that will help you to guide, give you visibility, give you data in front of you, it's essential, because we can't go faster without changing how we work, right? That's more than just meetings. So I totally agree with you. And that's really having an organic bottoms up desire is much easier to succeed than coming from a top down saying, we're going to do X, Y, Z. So that's, I think that's really cool to hear.
And, organically, things will happen regardless, right? If the need is there, teams will find a way to figure out how to communicate and decide what priorities they should align with together. And so by having some formalization to say, we're going to do it on a quarterly, and then we'll do a check-in on a monthly basis, is good. The other thing I've seen that works really well is decoupling the discovery from the delivery, right? So with product managers, you can have your vision and go after and getting that information separate from saying, okay, now we're going to commit to it for this quarter. And so you can have some space in time between discovering the opportunity and then saying, okay, now here's where we have to deliver it. That helps as well.
Right. That's what we call it, the double diamond for the strategy and execution, two faces. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.